Well, look, I think one of the things that's been very much underreported and forgotten, given that Liz Truss has pretty much abandoned her own budget in many ways, is that actually when you looked at the view of the British public, there's a lot of stuff in there that actually has significant public support. The cap on energy bills, the cut to the basic rate of income tax, scrapping the NI increase. And certainly when it comes to cutting the top rate of income tax, abolishing that 45p tax rate, well, as I've previously pointed out, yes, more Brits oppose that policy, cutting the top rate of income tax from 45% to 40%. But it did still have some significant public support. And so I have to say this intervention we've seen against what was Trussonomics, this plan to abandon Treasury orthodoxies, make the UK post-Brexit as competitive as possible, that Truss basically seems to have abandoned now. Some absolutely outrageous and completely inappropriate interventions, not just from the Germans, but also from US President Joe Biden. First of all, let me just show you what the German ambassador to the UK had to say about British domestic policy.
You know, what is seen, I would say, with some concern in Germany is that what we all are doing is try to get inflation under control through the central bank. But what is challenging is if at the same time there are measures like tax breaks, which then might fuel inflation. I think this is seen with some worry from Berlin.
You mentioned those tax cuts there and the questions and the difficulty about some of the things that Liz Truss has said. She might call you the anti-growth coalition.
I think we all want growth and we want to get out of recession as soon as possible. But we have to do all of that in a responsible way.
So you must welcome the suggestion today that some of those tax cuts could be reversed or at least delayed.
We are looking forward to all the decisions which might be taken in the coming days.
So yeah, that's what he said speaking to Talk TV. Tom Newton-Dunn there pointing out this is effectively Germany weighing in against Trussonomics. Aaron Banks saying they don't want a competitive low tax country on the edge of the EU winning, and some colourful language there at the end. And DCB there, David Campbell-Bannerman, saying, is Germany EU feeling a little threatened then by enhanced British competitiveness? Aman Bogle also saying the German ambassador would do well to remember we in Global Britain are no longer under EU rule. It doesn't just stop there though, because you've got, of course, Joe Biden, seemingly with him in the White House, there is zero prospect of a UK-US bumper trade deal, very sadly. He seems to have said nothing positive about that prospect whatsoever, which I find really quite sad. And then he had this to say.
Well, it's predictable. I mean, I wasn't the only one that thought it was a mistake. Yeah. But look, but I think that the idea of cutting taxes on the super wealthy at a time when, anyway, I just think, I disagree with the policy, but that's up to Great Britain to make that judgment, not me.
I mean, I think that is absolutely outrageous. Of course, we're used to this sort of treatment, I guess, from some. Of course, don't forget, Joe Biden was the vice president to Barack, back of the queue, Obama, so perhaps we shouldn't be surprised at this level of disrespect. But Tim Shipman pointing out here, he doesn't care what your politics are. It was a totally inappropriate intervention in another country's domestic politics, just not done to an ally. And I just think that the interventions you've seen here from Germany, from US President Joe Biden in UK domestic politics is bad form, it's out of order. And I actually think it shows you when you actually break away from the establishment orthodoxy and do things differently. And of course, I mean, Truss is pretty much folded on her agenda, but it shows you, I think, how the establishment try and close ranks. Unfortunately, as I said, it looks like our Prime Minister has completely bottled it. But let me know what you think of those interventions from the German ambassador to the UK and the US President in British domestic policy. As ever, I'll keep bringing you the very latest on this and more, so please do whack this video out a quick thumbs up. And of course, as ever, cheers for watching.